almost no one knows what to really think about actually doing cardio. So in this video, we're gonna talk about what it is, we're gonna talk about why you should do it, we're gonna talk about how much you should be doing, and then we're gonna finally finish with how hard you should be pushing yourself when you actually do your cardio. So let's get right into it. First of all, cardio is defined as doing sustained exercise over a period of time. There's a lot of different methods to doing cardio. The most popular ones are gonna be walking, jogging, biking, anything like that just is pretty easy to do. It's convenient. It's either something you can have at home or it's just something that's at your gym or something you can just do outside. Swimming would even count as at least 10 minutes. Anything less than that is basically just like a warm up or a cool down. So you wouldn't be doing cardio for at least 10 minutes if you're actually trying to include it in your routine. So your main focus should always be strength training when you're doing workouts. But cardio is an important aspect of strength training as it will help your heart. Your heart's a muscle, and it will also help other things too. It'll help your energy and it'll help your stamina as well. Now let's get into the second thing here. Why should you actually do cardio? So I did kind of just hint at it, but it increases your stamina by improving your heart as a muscle, and it also burns calories. So those are the two main reasons to do cardio. Now, everyone watching this should do cardio for both of those two reasons, but everyone has different goals. So what you should do is probably be biasing one versus the other. And we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get to the very end on that fourth point. But both of those things are really important. Both strengthening your heart by improving your stamina and then also burning calories are both things that will help you guys all achieve your goals. So third, how much cardio should you be doing? Generally, you want to be doing about 90 minutes to 150 minutes of cardio every week. In other words, about an hour and a half to 2 hours per week. Now you can divide that up kind of however you want. If you wanted to do something every day, you could split it up in that way, or you could also just do it on the specific days where you worked out, or you could even do it on the days that you don't do your strength training and you could alternate and go back and forth. But there's a lot of different ways you could split that up. If you guys didn't see my second video talking about how to kind of build a habit and structure your workouts, your schedule and your availability, and also just the habit that you're able to create and your commitment level are going to play a factor in how much that you're actually able to do every week. So keep that in mind. So like I mentioned earlier, it should be for at least 10 minutes each time you do your cardio. I do a minimal amount of cardio personally because I do a lot of supersets in my strength training. So I'm usually already kind of getting my heart rate up. So I use cardio mostly to burn calories. So lastly, this is where people get the most confused. How hard should you push yourself doing cardio? And again, this kind of depends on your goal, but there's 5 different zones for your heart rate, and how hard you should be pushing yourself falls into one of these zones. So the zones on the end are not really something you should be targeting. Zone 1 of heart rate is so low, you're not really gonna be burning or counting calories or really pushing your heart as much to actually work your stamina. This is something a lot of people I think they're doing more cardio than they actually think they're doing. They're either just leisurely on the treadmill or the bike, like maybe reading a book or like just on their phone, something like that, just super casually, or even like just walking outside or something. And stuff like that is not really gonna get your heart rate up to any significant range. On the opposite side of the spectrum, zone 5, you're gonna be pushing yourself so hard, you're barely gonna be doing it for any amount of time. Even if you're a super well-trained athlete, going into zone 5 of your heart rate will be something that you won't be able to sustain for 10 minutes. It's gonna be really challenging, it's gonna wear you out, and it's only good for extreme cases that athletes are trying to work on. So the majority of you guys watching this video should be between zone 2 and zone 4. Now zone 2 is optimal for burning fat. When you're in zone 2, your heart rate is up enough to where it is working your cardio, but the main thing with zone 2 is that you're burning calories and you're not exerting so much energy that your body just desperately needs energy. If you're in a calorie deficit, what can happen is that you can burn muscle by doing too much of a cardio with a higher heart rate. And so instead of actually building your muscle and toning up, what you're doing is you're just kind of building your muscle, doing strength training, then you're just kind of burning it off a little bit, doing too much high intensity cardio. So if you're trying to burn fat and lose weight, the best thing to do is being around zone 2. Usually this can be accomplished pretty well by doing a moderate speed on a bike or by doing incline walking or like power walking. Now, if you're really trying to focus more on working your heart, then you want to be kind of in more zone 3 or 4. That's where you're going to be pushing your heart rate up enough to where it's actually challenging your stamina, and then you're going to grow in your like lung capacity and your air volume. So look up your heart rate zones based on your age. It does matter a little bit what age you are, so I'm not gonna give the numbers here, but if you just go to Google, look up your heart rate zone based on your age, then try and stay somewhere within that. Cardio is important for everyone. It's gonna help you reach your goals, and kind of depending on what you're working on, you should figure out how many days and how much time for each day, and then from there, figure out the intensity and how often that you're gonna do it. So hopefully that was helpful, and good luck reaching all your goals.